Om Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of the 9th of August 2023. Essence. Sweet children, you will be able to imbibe knowledge when you become soul conscious. Only the children who become soul conscious will be able to remember the Father. Question. Due to which one mistake have human beings said that souls are immune to the effect of actions? Answer. Human beings have said that each soul is the Supreme Soul, and this is why they have understood souls to be immune to the effect of action. However, only Shiv Baba is immune to the effect of action. He doesn't experience happiness or sorrow, sweetness or bitterness. A soul says, such and such a thing is sour. The Father says, I am not affected by anything. I am beyond the effect of those things. I am the ocean of knowledge, and I speak that same knowledge to you. Song. I have come having awakened my fortune. Om Shanti. Who said this? The soul said this through these organs. The soul is an embodiment of peace. I, a soul, receive this body, and that is when I become talky. I perform many types of action through this body. First of all, you have to have this faith. In other spiritual gatherings, it is human beings who speak to human beings. It is bodily beings who speak there. They would say, such and such a great soul is sitting there. Those things don't exist here. You understand that you are souls and that those bodies are your organs. You souls are listening to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and He only has the one name, Shiva. At this time, you children are sitting here and listening to Him. Who is speaking to you? The Unlimited Father. When you say, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, your intellect's yoga goes up above. Shiva means point. A soul is a point, and God is also a point. However, He is called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He is the Father, and souls are the children. You have to understand, I, a soul, have become a child of the Father from beyond. You children have to become soul conscious. At all other places, it is human beings who explain to human beings. At any place where they study the Gita, they remember the Gita and also say that God said this and that in the Gita. They believe that God, in a corporeal form, spoke the Gita. Some sit and relate the Vedas and scriptures. Human beings wrote the Vedas. Incorporeal God did not write the Vedas. Vyas was a human being. Vyas cannot be called the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is a point. Children are in corporeal forms. They have corporeal forms, whereas the Father is incorporeal. The Father says, I never have to become big or small. You become big or small. I am called the Supreme Father. Human beings are at first children, and then when they grow up, they become parents and then become children again. I am the Father constantly. I do not become a child. I only have the one name, Shiva. You receive 84 names because you take 84 births. I, the Supreme Father, have the form of a point. It is just that people on the path of devotion have made my form very large in order to worship me. Sometimes they make a very big image of someone. They make a very big image of Buddha. There cannot be such a large human being. They simply give regard in that way. They believe that he was very big. The Father is the highest on high. The greatest of all is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. The Father sits here and gives his own introduction. You call me Shiva. It is explained to you, children. You have to understand that you have come personally in front of incorporeal Shiv Baba. I am always called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. I am the seed of the human world tree. The Supreme Soul sits here and explains. The soul has this knowledge. It is sung, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, God. He is the ocean of knowledge. He is speaking this knowledge to us. First of all, you have to become soul conscious. You mustn't become body conscious. However, according to the drama, you had to become body conscious. The Father is now making you soul conscious. All of you are children. This one is also a child. Souls are receiving the inheritance from the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the Grandfather. In worldly relationships, only sons receive an inheritance. Daughters don't receive it. The Unlimited Father says, all of you are souls. Each one of you has a right. You used to belong to me, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and you belong to me now. You say, O God the Father, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You sing his praise. Who sings it? Souls. Those are physical fathers of bodies, whereas this one is the Father of souls. Souls call out, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You have been remembering the imperishable Father because there is nothing but sorrow in the kingdom of Ravan. You began remembering him when the kingdom of Ravan began. You only have to remember the Father because it is only from the Father that you receive the inheritance. Here, human beings remember many. Gurus make you forget to have remembrance of the One. If God is omnipresent, then whom should we call God or Father? The Father repeatedly says, children, become soul conscious. While sitting or moving around, remember me, your Father. Understand that you are following Srimat. I, a soul, am eating in remembrance of Baba. Your sins will be absolved by having remembrance. The destination is very high. Yoga is not like going to your auntie's home. However, people have made the fathers disappear. Sri Krishna is just a child. It was definitely the Father who gave you such a huge reward. The Father explains, forget your body and all bodily religions. All of those names were given later on. Therefore, you should understand that you are studying this knowledge with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. There isn't any other school where they would understand that they are souls. You know that you are at first Sato Pradhan and that you then go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. Alloy is mixed into souls. I never have alloy in me. I am ever real gold. You souls have all become iron-aged at this time. Mama would also say, I am telling you what I have heard from Shiv Baba. Shiv Baba himself is the ocean of knowledge. These matters have to be understood very clearly. We truly now belong to Baba. He is teaching us. We are being liberated in life by studying with Baba. To be liberated in life means that you do have to enter a body, but also experience happiness. Everyone does receive liberation, but everyone goes into liberation in life number-wise. All souls become liberated. He liberates you from sorrow for half a cycle. He says, I liberate you and make you liberated in life. Then some take this many births and others take that many births. Everyone becomes liberated in life. There is only the one who is the bestower of salvation. All the founders of religions have now become Tamopradhan while taking rebirth. I come and liberate everyone from that sorrow, and this is why I am called the Liberator and the bestower of liberation and liberation in life. Liberation means to go to your home in the land of silence. The Father comes here from the Supreme Abode, which is also called the world beyond, Parlok. You remember both the land of Nirvana and the land of heaven. Heaven and hell exist here. At this time, everyone understands that this is hell. They continue to receive so much sorrow. They have written fearsome stories in the Garuda Purana, Hindu scripture, from which people become afraid and are thereby saved from committing sin. This is why they sat and made up such stories. They begin to write such scriptures in the Copper Age. The Father says, I come and create the Brahmin religion through Brahma. It then becomes the Sun and Moon dynasties. In those 2 ages, no one comes to establish a religion. Then, one after another, they all continue to come down, number-wise, and know their own religions. This deity religion will disappear, and they will then no longer be able to call themselves deities. How could impure ones be called Shri Shri or elevated? Only the Father makes you elevated. Deities are called elevated. There are many images of them, but people don't understand when the deity religion existed or who established it. They have elongated the duration of the Golden Age. They have elongated the duration of the Golden Age. Baba now says, "Children, consider yourselves to be souls. Remember the Father. The play is now coming to an end. Can't you see that the gates to liberation and liberation in life are opening? The bestower of liberation and liberation in life is only the one. You can see that here in the world, the title of World Mother is given to someone or other. In fact, it is this one who is Jagadamba, the World Mother. There isn't a person who could be the World Father, Teacher, and also Jagad Guru. Although people give themselves many names, they are not that. There is such a vast difference between Lakshmi and Narayan and those vicious ones who call themselves those titles. Human beings have become such fools. They have forgotten the original eternal deity religion and taken those titles for themselves. In fact, only the One has the highest on high status. There is only the one bestower of salvation. Even if you call him Rama, he is the same incorporeal one. The Father says, "The people of Bharat do not know their own religion, when it was established or who established it. Some remember a goddess, some would remember Sri Krishna, and others would remember their guru. They even put up a photograph of their guru. You have nothing to do with pictures. The one who doesn't have an image, is without a form, is Vichitra, without an image. A soul is without an image. Just as the Father is without an image, in the same way, children are also without an image. It is souls that listen. Baba has taken this body on loan. He says, "How could I give knowledge without the support of matter? How could I teach you Raj Yoga? Only the incorporeal one is called God. He has to come into the impure world." They show Sri Krishna floating on a peepal leaf in the ocean. There isn't anything like that. Sri Krishna is the first prince of the world. There are no other religions there. That is the undivided kingdom, and then there is duality. Then many types of religion continue to be established. Therefore, you children have to understand that Baba enters this body and teaches us. Baba says, "I am bodiless. I give you knowledge through this body. I am the ocean of knowledge." The Father sits here and explains all of these things. When you simply say God or Supreme Soul, you forget the relationship of the Father. You forget that God is the Father and that you receive the inheritance from Him. He is our Father, our Creator, and we are His creation. He has created us. Someone has to be the Creator. Baba has explained that men are limited Brahmas. They create children. First, a female is adopted. Then children are created with her. Baba says, "I also create with this one." A female is definitely needed. You say to Baba, "You are the mother and father." Therefore he adopts you children through this one. This one becomes the mother and he adopts you through him. So you are called the mouth-born creation of Brahma. You belong to the Father through this one. These are very wonderful things. They are not mentioned in the scriptures. I am called knowledgeful, Jani Janan Ha. People think that God knows what is inside everyone and that he is a thought reader. How could he become a thought reader of so many people? The Father says, I am the seed of the human world tree. I am the living being, the truth. Souls too are living. Bodies are false. They repeatedly continue to change. Souls do not die. You souls imbibe this knowledge. The Father explains, I, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, am immune to the effect of action. That is, I am not at all affected by happiness or sorrow, or by bitter or sweet things. I am free from any effect of those. I am the ocean of knowledge. People then say that souls are immune to the effect of action because souls and the Supreme Soul are one and the same. One person said something and everyone began to follow him. The Father says, I am immune to the effect of action. I don't find anything sour or salty. This one's soul says such and such a thing is sour. I have the knowledge of the whole world which I then teach to souls. Each one of you has to understand, I, a soul, am listening to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Here, these are truly the versions of God. You should have the faith that God, the Creator, is one. First and foremost is Bharat. Bharat is called an imperishable land. This Bharat is the birthplace of the Purifier Father. This is a very elevated land. There is to be the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan here. You know that the Father is once again planting the sapling of the deity religion. Those who belong to this religion will come and claim their inheritance. This is called a sapling. Baba has explained, you have to become soul conscious. Baba is teaching us. We are listening to him through these ears. We are studying this and teaching it. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence Vedana. 1. Forget images. Become one without an image and remember the Father who is without an image. Remove your body and all bodily religions from your intellect. Practice remaining soul conscious. 2. The sapling of the deity religion is being planted. Therefore, you definitely have to become pure. You have to imbibe divine virtues. Blessing. May you die alive and transform your attitude, awareness and vision with the awareness of your alokik life. Brahmin life is said to be an alokik life, which means that it is not like anything of this world. Let there be transformation in your vision, awareness and attitude. Constantly have an attitude of brotherhood or brother and sister. All of us are from the one family. Have this awareness and in your vision look at souls, not bodies, and you will then be said to have died alive. When you have found such an elevated life, you cannot then remember your past life. Slogan: constantly have pure feelings, and no impure feelings of flu will then come close to you. Om Shanti.